Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the movement that will be happening soon on Bitcoin. As you guys know, Bitcoin went through a pretty large rally over the last couple of days, breaking well above its previous trading range down in the low 29,000s, breaking above 30K briefly. And right now, Bitcoin has entered another trading range, continuing to trade sideways. And we're going to talk today about why that sideways trading is moving us even closer to a eventual major breakout that I believe will send Bitcoin in the upwards direction. Joe Bollier is in chat today, said, good morning, Jeb. Oh my, said hi. His boy Elroy said, God bless to all. God bless you as well. Benny Barry said, hi, Jeb. Everyone in Ireland says hello. Hello to everyone in Ireland. Crypto Surg said, buenos dias, amigo. Buenos dias. Muchas gracias. Ronald Davignon said, here from New York. Dan Nolan said, let's get this. Hashtag right now, right now. Wreck the Bear said, sup, bro? Sky in the ceiling. How you feeling? I'm really excited to be here, guys. I do apologize for being late. My wife and I are still really recovering from being sick. We just have the energy completely wiped out of us. I don't know what it is, but we're just completely exhausted. And it's really difficult because it's one of those things where it's like health. It's not even so much a mental, you just like, gosh, it's just drained. I think it's going to be okay in the next day or two. We're just still recovering from it. So I apologize for being late, guys. Really sorry about that. Mike Lowry's in chat said, good morning, everyone. Hashtag FinSov Thursday. Thank you so very much for tuning in, Mike Lowry. Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys why we're here. And I'm so glad that Mike Lowry said that. It is this concept of financial sovereignty and something that every single one of us has to make a conscious effort to embark on. And that is getting control over the things that you are supposed to be in control over. You're supposed to be in control of your finances. You are supposed to be in control of your emotions. You're supposed to be in control of oneself, self-control. You're supposed to be in control of your health to a certain degree. I mean, there's certain things you can't control, but for a certain degree, you can control what you eat. You can control what you wear. You can control your hygiene. You can control your sleep schedule. You can control what things you put in your body and what things you don't, as far as like caffeine or alcohol or drugs or whatever it is. You can control those things. And so we need to be very good stewards of the things that we are in control of, because, you know, one of the things that I learned being a gamer growing up is that I can't control what my team does. I played over 1,000 hours of League of Legends when I was growing up, probably 2,000 hours. I started playing League in 2011. So for any of you guys who play League, I've been playing League since some of the players that are in Platinum right now were in diapers. Like, I played League way back in the day, back in like Season 2. That game, it's 5 versus 5 MOBA. It's called a Mobile Online Battle Arena, and you are one player of 5. And so what you really have to realize is that you are 1/10 of the players on that field. You are only one of 10 players. There's 9 other people on the board, on the game map. And so you can only control what you can do. You can only control how well you play mid lane. You can only control how well you play top lane. I haven't played League in years, but you can only control how well you support or jungle or do the ADC. You can only control how well you do. There's no point in complaining about what mid lane's doing if you're the ADC. There's no point complaining about what the other player's doing because he's hacking or something, which didn't happen very often. But there's no point in complaining about what the other people do, because you see, the only person that you are in, let's say it together, control of, or maybe out of control of, but the only person that you have any hope of controlling is yourself. And to be financially sovereign, we have to realize that there are things that are going to happen to us. There are things that other people might do wrong. There are things that we might have done wrong in the past. We can't go back and control the past. We can only control ourselves in the present, not in the future necessarily, not in the past necessarily. You can plan for the future, but you can't change the past. The only person that you have any hope of controlling is you in the moment. and make a plan for how you're going to control yourself and what you have to do in the future. And so that's one of the things I always learned is, why are people hating on each other in this game? Like, listen, the only person you can control is yourself. So you've got to get it together, and I've got to get it together, and we've all got to come together and say, look, the only person that we have any power over, the only person that we have any control over is ourselves. We have to take responsibility for that. And that's how we become good team members for our team in league, for our team if you're on a football team, for a team if you're married, for a team if you're in an executive position at a company, whether you're a manager or the janitor. I don't care who you are. If you want to be helping to build a good team, you've got to take, and I've got to take, and we've all got to take responsibility for our own actions and understand that the only person that we're in control of is ourselves. So that's the only way that we're ever going to be able to move the needle, is by controlling what we do, and then maybe by controlling and being a good steward of what it is that we do and what we're in control of, maybe inspiring other people to do the same. But we can't control other people. We can't control much of our circumstance, but we can control the things that we've been given control over. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Donald Trump, I'm just going to go ahead and say it without the switch there. Donald Trump is in chat, said, Jeb, you're the man. Just dropping in to say 47th in the house and 2 Hill. Smash the like button. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. I'm sure I just got somehow by that. I don't know what you're saying there, pal, but appreciate you for dropping in. 47th. Somebody's going to have to tell me what that's a reference to. I'm sure that's a reference to something. All right. Let's get started. Bitcoin's trading at $29,600, is up 0.01% over the last hour, down 1% over the last 24 hours, up 1.27% over the last 7 days. Ethereum up sitting at $1,857, basically trading sideways over the last 24 hours and more or less over the last 7 days. We have had aggressive movements to the upside over the last few days on Bitcoin that has led me to this place where I'm saying, look, there is a good likelihood that Bitcoin could go through a rally here. The tricky thing is that when we are looking at Bitcoin on these shorter term time frames, it's very difficult to make predictions about how Bitcoin is going to actually break, whether it's going to break up or down. And it's something that I've realized over a long time, that shorter term predictions are first and foremost useless, and second of all, they can actually be very discouraging, because it's really, really hard to predict the volatility that Bitcoin is going to undergo in the next day or the next two. What's a lot easier to predict is where a market's going to be in a year, 3 years, 5 years. You can be a lot more accurate on that, but making predictions about where it's going to go over the next 12 hours is very difficult, because there's quite a lot of volatility. That's based on 6 years of predicting that every single day. I've got more experience on that than just about anybody else on the planet predicting what Bitcoin is going to do tomorrow. And I am here to tell you, as an expert on that it's very hard. And so what I have found is that if we run a model where we try and perceive what the market is doing, and we stop worrying so much about where the market's going to go in the next couple of days, and that's something that I'm continuing to learn, like, let's just stop worrying about it, and we make our plans, and we're prepared for both, then it doesn't really matter what we predict on the shorter term. If we're predicting where the housing market's going to be in 3 years, and you're trying to figure out whether or not you should buy a house for an investment property right now, then that's a prediction that actually matters. And by the way, that's a prediction that's much easier to make, because you're dealing with longer term trends. You're dealing with climate. That's why it's called the climate of crypto. If I make a price prediction over there, I do my very best for it to be at least a month out. But when you're dealing with short-term weather, it's very hard to predict what the weather is going to be like. That's why you see the weather. Oh, it was supposed to rain. It was a 70% chance of thunderstorms at 4 p.m. Now it's going to be shiny. It was 20 minutes ago. They said that. What happened? Weather is very difficult to predict. Climatologically, it's actually very easy to say the median high in July in Florida is probably going to be 7,000 degrees, right? It's very easy to predict that on a climate basis. And so when we're looking at crypto, there's a reason that I came up with the phrase, the climate of crypto. And that's because I prefer making predictions to look at the climate of crypto, because that's where we can really understand these are the overarching trends. And the reason I bring that up is because those overarching trends can help inform patterns that we think may take place on the shorter term time frames. And one of those longer term climatological patterns, if you will, is the fact that Bitcoin has been in a series of major rallies this year that have all looked very similar and all harken back to bull markets past. Bitcoin goes on one massive rally that comes out of nowhere in moonshots, and then it corrects for about 3 to 4 times as long as that rally. Sometimes about 2 to 3 times as long. Massive rally, was trying to say massive and major at the same time, and I just sounded like France. And then we have that longer term correction here. Similarly, massive rally, longer term correction. At some point over the next couple of months, and it doesn't really matter when, but at some point over the next couple of months, probably either around this uptrending level of support or around one of these levels, such as 25,236 or $27,000, we are going to see Bitcoin. Bottom out, and it's going to go on another one of those massive rallies. And we're going to want to be ready for that. And one of the reasons that I want to bring that up today is because I think we're getting kind of into that boat. I think we're starting to inch into that territory. I think we're starting to get into that territory where either we're going to see one massive larger drop that'll take us another month to bottom out, or sooner than later, maybe in the next 2 weeks, we're going to go through one of those large rallies. Let's first just talk about what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about setting up plans for what happens if the market goes up or down. And so we set up a plan. I always like to go back and look at these and see if they were actually profitable or not, because remember, we have principles and we want to see if they work. You know, it's important to have a process that's proven, and to make sure your process is proven is, generally speaking, a good idea to run a proven process. Now, these are just dummy numbers. I want you guys to remember these are not the exact numbers that I would recommend using. You want to make sure you're using wisdom here, and there's times when a stop loss would trigger that you'd say, I'm not so sure I actually want to trigger that stop loss just yet. I want to give it a little bit more room. So if the Bitcoin market were to have gone through this downtrend right here, would it have been profitable? Well, you would have entered here at 29.5 potentially. You would have dropped 0.17%, and then you would have gotten stopped out and you would have made 0.7%. Then you would have been out of the trade up here. Similarly, you would have entered right around here, around 29.5. Again, just dummy numbers, just an idea. But then you would have potentially made 0.3%, 0.1 stop loss. Then you have made 0.19%. So you've already profited twice on this trade entry. You run up here again, and then well, actually, to be honest with you, you'd probably trigger right here because you had stop lossed out. Then you make another 0.2%. Then you rally all the way up to this stop loss. You were already out of the trade because you did not enter at this point. Then you enter the trade right here. It's negative 10%. Drop down here, you're going to get stop lossed out. You might end up breaking even on that trade, but you hit the entry again, drop all the way down here, hit the stop loss, you made 0.4%. This trade is entered like 4 or 5 times. It's made profit every single time. Just zooming forward, we can see we fell down below this level again, and you're just trading the same thing over and over and over again. This trade that we set up yesterday does not seem to be that special, does not seem to be that particularly awesome or anything. It's just like, oh man, that's a little trade. But you look at it, and you look at these couple of hours here, and you actually realize if you go down to the minute chart and you analyze it, you probably would have made 1% just trading this trade over and over and over again. It's profitable, guys. I just want to remind you, we have a proven process here for how we set up trades. And one of the parts of the proven process is stop worrying so much about your short-term price predictions. Stop worrying so much about your short-term predictions about whether or not the market is going to go up or whether the market is going to go down. Instead, make plans and follow them to execution. Let's go ahead and read chat for a second. I want to read chat more, make sure I am interacting with you guys as much as possible. Oh, 47th president is what he was saying. 47th in the house. There we go. That's right. I see. I didn't realize we were already at 47. Really? I was going to say, are you sure? No. He's the 45th. I was going to say he's not the 40th. Oh. Ha. All right. I see what you did there. You're saying he's going to win the election. We shall see. Very, very interesting to see whether or not Donald Trump will win the election against Biden coming up in the next couple of years. We will probably talk about that when we get here. I don't venture too far. He was 45. That's why I was confused. You're saying 40. I was like, we haven't had the 47th president yet. Oh, duh. I see. I told you I was going to get got. Mike Lowry said, speaking of control, today's 6 months since I gave up cigarettes. Good for you, Mike Lowry. That's awesome. That's amazing. That's really great to hear. My grandfather, who I never met, he not that he was not there, he just passed away 4 years before I was born. He smoked, I think, 2 packs a day. And I want to tell you something. If you guys smoke cigarettes every day and you're trying to gain financial sovereignty, calculate how much money you're spending every single month. I'm sure Mike Lowry can tell you this. Calculate how much money you're spending every single month and every single year on cigarettes. And then think about how many trips you could go on with that. Think about what would happen if you invested that. Let's just take a pause here. And Mike Lowry, I'm just gonna pick on you for a second. We use a compound interest calculator, and I don't mind picking on you because it looks like you've already beaten it. So congratulations, good for you. Let's just say your average monthly spending on cigarettes for a smoker. How much does an average spend? And let's see. That means a pack-a-day habit sets you back roughly $309 a month. $309 a month. I thought it was going to be like 60. Jeez. I've never touched a cigarette in my life, so I have no idea. Look at this. $309 a month. Wow. Okay. Well, then we've got a number. Let's take our number over here to goodoldinvestor.gov. You put $309 a month into some kind of investment that can bring you 10%. The S&P can bring you 10%. Real estate can bring you 10%. You could probably make 10% in the crypto market. Whatever. Let's just say you make 10%. That's pretty much the market. That's what they call the market. Call it 8%. Accounting for inflation. Let's call it 8%. And you do that for 10 years. That's how much money we have. Compounded monthly. $0 initial investment. We've got $56,000, folks. In 10 years, you put $37,000 in contributions. You made $19,000 in interest. $19,000 over the course of $19,000 divided by 10 years is $1,850 or so. $1,850 divided by over 10 years, not 12 years. 19,000 is $1,900 a year. Divided by 12 is you're looking at about $150 a month in interest over the course of 10 years. We come back here, let's just set that to 30 years. Let's just have fun with the numbers. 30 years, you got $460,000. That's higher than the average American retirement account. Like literally, you will have, if you stop smoking and you put the $309 a month into a Roth IRA, getting 8%, not even 10%, 8%. You can get 10% pretty easily if you know what you're doing. For 30 years, you will have double the average American amount of money in their retirement account. Because I think it's normally like $250,000 or something. So good on you, Mike Lowry. Use all that money, dump it, $300 a month I was spending. Boom, that's exactly what he said. You now invest that into crypto. Boom, there you go. Put some of it into, a steady kind of mutual fund. Right now, guys, look, I understand banks have screwed a lot of people over. I totally get that. I'm not a fan of the banking system at all because you know why? The Bible talks about, and this is something that I want the people in the crypto audience to hear because that's our audience. If you're in crypto and you're like, oh man, traditional finance screwed me over. Let me just tell you something. Bible talks a lot about not lending money with interest. It's an unbiblical institution in a lot of ways. You don't lend your brother interest. The Israelites were not allowed to do it to themselves. Christians are not supposed to lend money to each other with interest. It is a broken system. So if you've got something against the banks, I do too. I think you kind of need to work with them. But the thing is, you're not the one actually lending the money for interest. Anyway, long story short, I have plenty of my own problems with banks. But if you were to take just a little bit of that, $100 of it, put it into something that can get you 8 to 10% a year, you could have so much money. So much money. Goodness. Good for you, Mike Lowry. Make sure to follow a little bit of diversification. It's a good idea to have investments in a lot of things, not just in crypto. But, of course, if you know crypto 100 times better than anything else, then that's going to impact how much of your portfolio you put into crypto. I'm not saying crypto is a bad investment. I'm just saying diversification is a good and biblical principle. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about Bitcoin. I believe that Bitcoin right now is setting up for its next major cycle. I think Bitcoin is going to have a huge movement, and I think that movement is going to happen at one of two times. Either one, Bitcoin is going to continue following this uptrend, and it's going to bounce soon, probably before the end of August. If you'll remember, back in mid-July, I was saying by the end of August, we're probably going to have a bounce, and then we'll have a rally quite a bit higher. But from there, there's also the possibility that Bitcoin would need a larger correction and pull all the way back down to 25,236. And part of the reason for that is because this whole movement here could be treated as one massive bull flag. That would be the more conservative of the options. Now, to keep in mind, this was a smaller rally. It was only a $6,200 rally, and we've been correcting for 46 days. Proportionally speaking, this is a movement that is about accurate in size to what we saw. But before, we saw a movement that was twice as tall, so we had a correction that was about twice as long as what we've seen so far. And so it stands to reason that Bitcoin, based on those ratios, would probably be done relatively soon with its correction. Either that being with a final flash crash, kind of like what we saw happen over here in early March, or with Bitcoin just hitting the uptrend, bouncing off of it, and rallying. And to be honest with you, I think there is a lot of interest and enthusiasm in Bitcoin, and I am wanting to lean more in that direction. But of course, following our principles, I am going to let the trend be my friend until it ends, and the trend of Bitcoin moving down and correcting has not ended just yet. Bitcoin has been in the sideways trend for a couple of weeks, so until Bitcoin, I would say, confidently breaks above $30,000, I'm going to have to sit here and say, look, Bitcoin, I believe that you are trying something big here, but we're going to have to see some evidence for it. Bitcoin trading sideways in a way is a good thing. It's not a gradual downtrend like it was. It's a sideways trend. It's technically almost a rounding bottom here. You can see it very clearly on the bottoms here. Let me just show you over here on a different chart that is a little bit cleaner. I'll just go ahead and do it. I'm going to do it. Remove all the drawings. Oh my goodness. Look down on the 1 hourly chart. We can see there is this sort of rounded bottom taking place here, so long as Bitcoin continues to set higher lows. If Bitcoin continues to set higher lows and higher highs, then I will very quickly turn into a bull. And it does look like that's what it's doing. But we need to see what Bitcoin does on this bottom. I'm very interested to see whether Bitcoin's going to set a third higher low here. If it does, like setting a higher low around 29,000, then that's where I'm going to start becoming bullish. Somebody said in the comments yesterday on the video on Climate of Crypto that you don't want to be the last bull standing. And to a certain degree, that's true. But at the same time, I don't want to be the first bull running either. Because if we become the first bull running, oftentimes, those are the bulls that run across the dangerous river and they get eaten by a crocodile. You want to be somewhere in the middle, right? If you're a stampeding herd of wildebeest, you don't want to be the first. And you don't want to be the last going across. If you've ever watched a nature documentary, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's brutal. I mean, it's terrible. You watch those wildebeest and they're just, boom, there's like a million of them. All the ones in the middle, they've got like a 500 wildebeest on either side. They're good. They're running with the pack. They're fine. They have protection in numbers, man. You're the first wildebeest that's brave or dumb or stupid or some kind of weird enough to be the first one to jump in that water. That's natural selection, my friend. So, and if you're slow enough that you're at the very back, don't get your tail biting off. You're not getting out of that water. No, at least not whole. You want to be right there, kind of in the middle. You want to be one of the first people across so you're not, getting trampled and falling behind, but you don't want to be the very first. You don't want to be the first bull, and you don't want to be the first bear. You don't want to be the last bull, and you don't want to be the last bear. You want to wait for somebody else to take the hit on trying to start the rally, trying to start the uptrend, and then from there, after the rally has already had some momentum, then you say, all right, now we have confirmation. Now I'm going to jump in this with the rest of my friends. But we want to wait for a little bit of confirmation. What we saw over the last couple of days, these were the first wildebeest jumping straight into the teeth of the bears. They just jumped straight in there, and they got eaten. They got absolutely eaten. Now, I showed you a couple of days ago, we set up a trade setup. Both of these highs were actually profitable if you use proper trade setups, the way that we teach. But theoretically, as far as metaphorically, the rally got eaten. But the river crossing was attempted, right? This is the probe. These were the scouts. They got sent out and they did not come back, but we at least know where the enemy is now. And so if Bitcoin does try to come up to this level again at $30,000, we've already probed it. Great. We come up here again, send a few more wildebeest across there. The brave young bucks that think they've got it. They're brave or stupid, somewhere in between. We set a little higher. And then the bottom, where all the wildebeest in the back kind of push them. One of the other things you see, I'm sorry, I wasn't showing the chart. They come up here, they're jumping into the teeth of the bears, and then they come back, and we pull back here, and we set a higher low. This is a little bit like in the nature documentary, the wildebeest, or the zebra, or the whatever it is trying to cross this river with all the crocodiles. That in the back, they're getting anxious. They're like, I don't want to be the last, man. I do not want to be the last because I want to live more than 4 hours from now. I want to not become a wildeburger, right? I want to live, right? And so they're just pushing and shoving all the wildebeest. They're saying, I want to get in the middle. I'm going to push straight through you. And so you've got all this pressure from the back of like, got to break through this river. I don't want to die, right? It's simple. And so that's kind of what happens when you set a higher low like this. You break through the resistance a little bit. That's some guys in the front jumping in. You set a higher low. That's all the dudes in the back pushing forward saying, I don't want to be a wildeburger. I want to live. I want to get over there and eat that grass. It looks delicious. Let's keep pushing forward. And so you set a higher low, and then you also continue to put little chinks in the armor And eventually the whole herd's going to go through and the bulls are going to rampage and they're going to end up making it through 30K. But what we need to see, and what I need to see as an analyst, is I need to see Bitcoin setting higher highs above this high, and hopefully above these highs right here, but at least above this high. And then I would also like to see Bitcoin probe above 30K a little bit higher than it had. I'd like to see a third higher high here and a third higher low here. It's a very simple ask. Very, very simple ask. We have one high, then we had a higher high. I want a third higher high. We had one low, we got a higher low. I want a third higher low. If we can do this, and even if we correct, then that's where I start becoming bullish. I'm so very close. I'm so very close to being bullish. But right now, I still need the market to prove it to me. And as far as how we would trade this, these trade setups are still here. They've not changed a bit. And guys, remember, these are just dummy numbers. These are not the exact numbers I want you to use. I'm teaching the principles. Make sure that you are using the principles of find your ceilings, find your floors. Make sure you are building your trades around those. To be honest with you, I would probably move this trade down here. I know it's going to seem a little bit off, but I would probably actually move our level right down here, use this whole middle level as kind of a no trade zone. You could even honestly put another long position, something like this. Again, just kind of example numbers, just examples. And then boom, something like this. Again, this is not supposed to be an exact number, but you want to get that risk-reward ratio looking pretty good. Break through there, you'll be all right. More than likely use this as our trading zone in the middle, the kind of the no trade zone. There's always going to be a no trade zone in the middle, and then you're going to have long and short trades above and below. The no trade zone is where you are because you need to wait for a break into a different range, and that break to a different range is what you're trading. And then we can look down here and say, all right, well, maybe we could set a short trade right here. Very tight stop loss. Again, I'm not picking exact numbers. I want you to do that. You're the trader in this case. I'm just the teacher. And you can see that there's probably a 5x risk-reward ratio. Not the best setup, but it's better than nothing, and it's kind of what you have to work with here. That's how I would go about setting this up. I would kind of move down the trading range from what we had yesterday, since the market did change a little bit. And just so that the range that we're currently in is our no trade zone. Remember, one of the principles of trading, I need to make a video teaching this. You have 3 zones. You have your shorting zone, your longing zone, and your no trade zone. Your no trade zone is where you're ranging right now. Your long zone is what happens when you break above the first ceiling. Your short zone is what happens when you break below the first floor. It's very simple, not complicated at all. It's basically common sense, but it's something that we want to teach because I know it's helpful. And so that's how I would go about setting that up. Very simple, guys. Does not have to be complicated. Did I just watch National Geographic? No, I didn't. I've not watched National Geographic in a long time. Couldn't tell you why, but that's just where it came from. Couldn't tell you why. It was just an idea I had. Sorry for the capitals, usury. Yes, thank you, Jay Jason. That's the word I was looking for, usury. Is that a Cheshire? Did I just watch National Geographic? No, I did not. Morning Jeb. News days are for watching. That's right. And of course, there's one more thing that we need to talk about. And that would be none other than the CPI data. Because obviously CPI is one of the most important things that is happening right now. And CPI at the moment has just come back at 3.2%. And so the reason that CPI is so important is because CPI measures the amount of, how shall I say? The CPI measures the change in the price of goods in the United States market. And so CPI actually managed to go up. This is something that I've been predicting for over 6 months. The reason that we've been predicting the CPI was going to go up is because energy was going to be less and less of a positive impactor on CPI. You can see CPI right now is trading at sitting at 3.2%. It was at 3%. If you've watched gas prices, recently they've risen very sharply from about $3.50 where we live to $4 very, very quickly, almost overnight. And so if you look here at the energy category, it is no longer as far down as it was. It was hugely, hugely, hugely to the downside. It's not quite that far anymore. Gasoline, fuel oil, energy commodities have another month or two of still being these negative 20, negative 26, negative 19, negative 13% numbers, and then they're going to start going up again because we had a giant drop off in the price of these petrochemical products because they had The reason is because they had such huge spikes a little over a year ago, so now they're correcting back to baseline, just slightly higher above baseline, including all inflation. But they're correcting more or less back to a baseline that's lower than where that spike was. But that spike is getting priced out, averaged out of the data because of 12-month average. Relatively soon, that won't be a factor, and all of these numbers are going to reset to basically zero. And so you're going to see energy go from negative 12.5 to like 2%. And when you see that happen, you're going to see headline inflation here at 3.2%. Go probably back up to 4 or 5. You're probably going to see it jump right up here to major categories, probably to at least 4.2. You're probably going to see this continue to rise. That's why everybody right now is talking about how it went from 3% all the way up to 3.2. This is the first time that CPI has gone up in 13 months. And it's for exactly the reason that I've been telling you over and over and over again. The fact of the matter is CPI has to contend with the fact that the U.S. markets had that huge rally 13 months ago, and now that rally is over. So we're going to see that inflation number go up. Today, as was said in chat, is a good day to be calm and watch what the market does very closely. Jeremy Shorter in chat said, Cheshire Cat signal, the double smile on the Bitcoin chart. That's right. That's right. That's so interesting. That is a pattern that I've not seen in a very long time. Let me show you. What we're talking about here. Let me show you what we're talking about here. If you don't know what the Cheshire Cat is, this fella. And so if you look over on the chart, it makes sense what's going on here. I believe I have it right here. You can see the kind of smile formation here. It's just this it's basically a rounded bottom with a rounded top at the same time. Interesting pattern. And like I said, to really confirm that that's what's going on, we need to see another bottom and another high. And for that Cheshire Cat pattern to continue, we're going to need to see a couple of levels such as that. Interesting stuff. All right, let's read chat for a little bit. I love talking to you guys and interacting with you guys. Who's got powder for a flash crash to 23 to 25K? I would probably put some entries down there. Alice, you say? I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. Sorry. I had to do it. I don't think I've ever even actually seen Alice in Wonderland. I just know that clip. I'm late. Oh my goodness. Turmeric every day. What does turmeric do? I'd love to learn. Love your details and analogies. Explore Editions, The Ongoing Journey. I love your name. That's an awesome name. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Some wonderful people. Oh man, it's so funny. I love to sing. So every Saturday we invite some friends over to our house, and I just started singing Baby James by James Taylor. And the two people that were there were three people that came over, but two of them both knew me, but they were just meeting each other that day. One of them was an in-law of mine, and one of them was a friend of ours from church. And so I started singing, and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James, sweet deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James? And they both looked at me and they're like, why are you always singing that song? And they had never met each other before. Apparently, I'm always singing that song in front of both of them. And they're both like, yeah, he always sings that, doesn't he? I didn't even realize I was doing it. All right. Somebody said, yo, just made my morning with that. Turmeric versus inflammation. I almost thought you said inflation. I thought you said inflation. I was like, okay, we need to give the United States economy some turmeric. Bro, stop, lol. Oh, fine. Oh, my goodness. Man, we got haters in chat. I probably did not sound very good there because I am still, I am still sick. Oh, my goodness. Turmeric is a natural spice, is anti-inflammatory. Sound like Ed Sheeran. Man, we've got some we've got some really, really, really diverse opinions in chat on my singing. People saying I'm sound like Ed Sheeran, Some people saying they love it, and others saying their ears are bleeding. Wow. That is how we get, you know what? I will just, in our meeting today about how to make Coffee and Crypto a better show, I will say, look, Jeb needs to just sing every single stream because the chat rate just quadruples. Normally it's 3 chats a minute, 3 to 4 chats a minute. It just went to 7. It literally doubled. We literally doubled the chat rate because we got some people saying, man, Jeb, you sound like Ed Sheeran. We got other people saying, Jeb, my ears just fell off. And they refused to come back if they got to listen to that. So, pretty funny. Donald said, yo, haven't caught a live stream in almost a month, and this is the stream I end up getting. Love it. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I am still very sick with a cold, so I do apologize if I made any of your ears bleed. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right, guys. Well, we are going to wrap it out. I'm sorry. That is so funny. Ricky Suave said, you sound like Ed Sheeran. That's why my ears are bleeding. Whew. Whew. Got me. Oh, that was a good one. That was like, I remember one time. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I remember one time in 3rd grade, this kid, I forgot what he said. He said, he like insulted me. And he had like the whole class, he had like the whole class behind him, right? And I was just standing over here. We were at the bus loop. And he just comes up to me and he's just like, boom, insult. I don't know what he said. But I thought it was funny. I was like, man, that's a funny insult. I just started laughing with him. I'm like, that was a good one. And he's like, and then he got all insecure. He was like, you're supposed to be offended by that. Why are you laughing at my joke? And then everybody turned and started laughing with me. I'm like, what are we? I know it was funny, right? And then he got insecure and walked away. And I'm like, bro, it's a funny joke. Can't I laugh with you? Am I not allowed to laugh? It was a good one. Come on, look. And he got insecure and walked away. I'm like, buddy, come on. Yeah. I got a real good feel. I'll tell you what, I would love to sing Oh the Larceny, but I have such a bassy voice, it's difficult for me to sing Real Good Feeling. It really is. I'm much better at singing like rock and country and different things like that. I sing to my son every night, and there's one song that I love singing to him. It is Till You Can by Cody Johnson. It's a great song, and it's something that I actually want to, I would like to sing on the channel sometime. Today is a terrible day to do it because, like I said, I'm congested and my nose, it's just, everything's off. But I always sing to him at night. Well, you can tell your old man you'll do some lot. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it right now. Drop a 1 in chat if you want me to do it later. Maybe I'll do it on maybe I'll put that somewhere else instead of on YouTube because I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear it. Oh. You know, that's the funny thing with music. You know what my dad taught me one time? I love my dad. He's taught me so many good things. And what I'm about to tell you, this will apply to everything. Let me just teach you a life lesson here. My dad taught me because we were doing like some kind of dance at school, right? And he told me, he said, Jeb, look, because I was scared. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to get out here and dance, Dad. You know, I'm in 11th grade. It wasn't prom or anything. It was just some like spirit pep rally kind of thing. And he's like, Jeb, listen, what you got to understand is that dancing is always going to look stupid. So you just got to get out there with confidence and give it everything. I see fire. Ed Sheeran. How does that go? I do like Ed Sheeran. Let me see. What's a song? Over the castle on the hill. What is an Ed Sheeran song I like? I'm just going to go a little longer because, guys, let me just tell you something, and I'm going to go for another 10 minutes or so here. What I've learned is that Coffee and Crypto is the place that I want to interact with the community. I want it to be formatted. I want there to be content. But look, I'm going to make some great videos. They've got a lot of content. I want to be able to interact with you guys and really just have some fun. What is a song that I like from Ed Sheeran that I can sing? I sing this I sing Perfect. Let's see. There's a song. She played the fiddle in a night. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of something that I can actually sing on stream. Oh my gosh. When I dance, I look like a marionette in the wind. Jeb has hidden talents. Make a joyous noise. Coffee and Crypto and karaoke. No. I see fire. I don't know how that goes. I see fire. Ed Sheeran. Let me just listen to it really quickly here. Oh, is this from that? Is this from the movie? Let me see if I can listen to it for a second. Let's listen to it. Oh, okay. I know this song. I don't know how to sing that song. Let's see. Galway Girl. I am still sick. I will try it. Let me see. She played the fiddle in an Irish band, but she fell in love with an Englishman. Kissed her on the neck and then I took her by the hands. So baby, I just wanna dance. I met her on Grafton Street, right outside of the bar. She said a cigarette with me while her brother played the guitar. She asked me what does it mean, the Gaelic ink on your arm? Said it was one of my friend's songs you wanna drink on. She took Jamie as a chaser, Jack for the fun. She got Arthur on the table with Johnny riding the shotgun. Chatted some more, one more drink at the bar. Then put some Van on the jukebox, got up to dance. You know, she played the fiddle in an Irish band, but she fell in love with an Englishman. Kissed her on the neck and then I took her by the hand. So baby, I just wanna dance with my pretty little Galway girl. Na 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 na. You're my pretty little Galway girl. There you go. All right. Stop, Jeff. I have my speakers on. I love it. I love how many of you guys are like, that's terrible. Oh, this is so funny. I love all that. Man, some of you guys are like, man, this is great. Some of you are like, oh, I'm never doing this again. Love it. He said, okay, I'm leaving. Oh my gosh. Need some whiskey in my coffee. All right. I don't know. Hope you guys are enjoying today's stream. I know some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, what's this guy doing? Not gonna sing every stream. Probably won't sing many times at all. But many of you guys seem to like it. They turned their head to my office. That's so funny. How do you tell crypto is moving sideways? Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about today. A CPI print came in and it went up 0.2%. Great. You know. All right. Guys, if you enjoyed today's stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We ain't gonna sing every day on Coffee and Crypto. But listen, guys, I am learning that the really structured and formulaic content I want to make into the videos, and I want to be able to have the freedom to just sit here and talk to you guys and interact with you guys in stream, because this is where the community comes together, man. This is where you guys come to spend time with each other and with me and learn about crypto and have fun. I think there's been so many times in past that I've thought about Coffee and Crypto as it's got to be structured, it's got to be formulated, it's got to be down to the minute. As far as we need to be on time. I am very sorry for not being on time today. We need to be here on time. We need to end on time. But listen, we need to have fun. It's really important that we have fun and we enjoy ourselves, because that's what's going to bring us together as a community. And that's what I want. I want a strong community where we're able to work together and grow together and invest in the principles of financial sovereignty. And one of the things that we got to understand is that, as I talked about in that video, one of the principles of financial sovereignty is family. Go back to the video. If you haven't seen this video yet, I would encourage you to go and watch it. This video, I talk about financial sovereignty and some of the things a millionaires master. 14 truths a millionaires master. And one of those is family. And I want us to be a big family. I want us to be one big family, and we work together towards a common goal of financial sovereignty. It's unity, right? It's working together. And so we need a place where we can kick it, relax, and have fun. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be content on Coffee and Crypto. I'm not changing the whole format of Coffee and Crypto. What I am saying is that I want to do a better job of interacting with you guys in chat. What I am saying is I want to do a better job of having fun. One of you guys saying, hey, here's a meme. All right, let's see it. Or, riffing off of, who was it? Well, it was Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump making jokes about the 47th president. Great. One Voice 92 said, I'm a half coiner because of you. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, that's a compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Troy McDrain said it's fun. Can't be serious all the time. That's right. Yeah, there's a song, Humanity Family. That's right. Let's see. What is it? I sing my... There's a song... There is a song, Even Though I'm Leaving, by Luke Combs. I sing my son sometimes. He goes, Daddy, I'm afraid. Won't you stay a little while? Keep me safe. 'Cause there's monsters right outside. Daddy, please don't go. I don't wanna be alone. 'Cause the second that you're gone, they're gonna know. Daddy grabbed my hand and said, just 'cause I'm leaving, it don't mean that I won't be right by your side when you need me and you can't see me in the middle of the night. Just close your eyes and say a prayer. It's okay, I know you're scared when I'm not here, but I'll always be right there. Even though I'm leaving, I ain't going nowhere. And on that note, we're going to wrap out the stream. Even though I'm leaving, we're not going anywhere, and I will be back tomorrow with Coffee and Crypto at the regularly scheduled time. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content. We're really working hard to get a content schedule up that is going to benefit you guys, where we're able to come together as a community, a family here in YouTube on Coffee and Crypto, and also in a place where we have all kinds of really high quality educational, informational, and fun content coming out on the YouTube channel in the form of the FinSoft Friday videos, in the form of our Climate of Crypto videos, and Sunday videos. It's going to take us a couple of weeks to really figure out exactly how all the moving pieces work there, figure out all our proven processes. Okay, we do this on Coffee and Crypto, we do this in Climate of Crypto, we do this in Sunday videos, FinSoft Fridays. We're still figuring out exactly where we want to place all the pieces, but we know what the pieces are. We're excited to put them there, and I cannot wait to do all of that with you. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. I am going to go ahead and wrap it out. But before I do, there's so many people doing hearts and the crying and the laughing, crying face in chat. It's so funny. But before I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling.